Tonight we are making chicken soup. Basically, it's a chicken vegetable soup. So you're going to need a huge pan for this because it makes quite a bit. You're going to need 4 butterflied boobs or 2 full chicken boobs. Cabbage, you're going to use half of that. Onion, I'm improvising. My son ate the other onion. So I'm going to be using our red onion we use for salads. Celery, carrots, diced tomatoes with no salt, and chicken broth with less salt. So that's what we're going to be using to make our chicken soup. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and cut up what needs to be cut up and resume after that. Okay, so now we have everything chopped up and open and ready to go. I did forget to mention that we needed 1.5 teaspoons of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. So everything is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and hopefully put this nicely so you can see pretty good. I can cut that part out. So now we're going to go ahead and add all the ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my heat. Since it's such a big pot, I'm using the biggest burner I can. And I'm going to have it at 8.5, which is like medium high. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add all my wet ingredients. So I'm going to add the chicken broth, and I'm going to add the tomatoes, and I'm going to add the salt and pepper, and I'm going to mix that up so it's nice and well blended. Now the next thing I'm going to go ahead and add is the chicken, because I want the chicken to be covered in the juices. So I'm going to go ahead and add that and mix it all up as well. So all the pieces are nice and separated and they're soaking in these juices now. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add my celery. Now it's supposed to be, I say it's a handful. So like here's a handful. And it looks like that, maybe a little more. That wasn't a whole lot. So there you go. So it's gonna look like that. And of course, once again, we stir it up so it gets nice and blended. Now the next thing we're gonna add is the onion. Normally I use a whole half of one of those big yellow onions, but my son ended up eating it with his food. So I'm gonna use the red onion. And it's about a handful. And another handful. So this has a little bit more onion than the other meals that I've made. And then once again, we stir it up, get it nice and well blended. Now this is more of a stew. It's not a soup, even though it's called chicken soup. So, and then now we're gonna add our carrots. It's a whole bunch of carrots. It's about 2 cups of carrots. I use baby carrots and just chop those. 1, because they're smaller and it's actually less chopping. 2, they're already pre-prepared for you, so you don't have to wash them or peel them. So and they're just ready to go. So lazy man's way. And now the last thing we need to add is our cabbage. Now it is a lot of cabbage. It is half of a head of cabbage. I tried to pick one of the smaller ones at the store because it uses so much cabbage. And I'm just gonna dump it all. But it's a lot of cabbage. So, and we're gonna of course stir everything up again. Make sure. So once we do this and we have it all stirred up, now we're gonna let it simmer. And you don't wanna cook it. I only have it on medium-high heat for right now while we're mixing everything. 1, to heat everything up faster and the burner and the pan up faster. And 2, because there is no number 2, I'm just kidding. So now that everything is mixed And I actually put in raw chicken. It says you can use cooked chicken, but now we're gonna let it simmer because the simmering will bring out the juices from all the other vegetables and add a little bit of liquid to this. So I'm gonna lower the heat to about 4, and then I'm gonna cover it with a lid and just let it sit for about an hour. So that means we'll be ready to eat at about 6:15. It's 5:15 now. So I'll get back to you then. Oh, you also stir occasionally when this is simmering. Otherwise, the vegetables will burn on the bottom of the pan. So, all right, I'll get back to you in about an hour. All right, so we are now at our hour mark. And so I had to turn down the heat for a moment because I had to do a quick something else. But this is what the soup should look like when everything is done. You can always add a little bit more liquid by adding a little bit of water in there, which is what I'm probably gonna do. But this is what our soup is going to look like. And then, can you give me a bowl? So now we're gonna go ahead and fill up our bowl. And I use this ladle here. It gives you about 3/4 a cup. When it's heaping like that, it's like a full cup. And we just pour it into our bowl here. And there you go. Now you eat. Enjoy.